by your parties. Dropping the hit, got me Shararti. Coming to see like a tsunami.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Haraami United. You know what? Obviously, as always, thanks for joining, man. I think we were really struggling today, weren't we, man? I think we wasn't too sure whether to do a podcast or not. Not a lot that's gone on at United, has there?
Yeah, it's been a quiet week.
Quite weak as always, man.
Yeah, it's just a couple of interviews have been done. That's about it, really.
Couple of interviews. I hear from someone, a local lad to Manchester.
Yeah, some guy from where is it? Is he from Failsworth? I've heard.
Failsworth, off the council estate. I think the lad's done well for himself. No longer lives in the UK, I don't think.
Well, if you can make a good enough living to leave this shithole, why not? Do you know what I mean? And that was a minute in.
Yeah. Hey, look, man. The guy's, got out of Failsworth, gone to abroad, but look, man, he's gonna bring, as we mentioned in our last podcast, he's gonna bring some regenerational projects back to the north, man. But obviously, yeah, we all know who we're talking about. Sir Jim Ratcliffe confirmed as I don't know how to put it. I've seen arguments on both sides. He's either a single majority owner.
How's he majority though?
Or he's a minority owner.
But
of Manchester
how
United.
is he majority? That's where I get confused.
I think majority is whereby if you break down singularly the amount of B class shares that they've got across them all. So obviously we know the 6 Glazers, and obviously I can't remember exact workings out of how much B shares etc. each individual's got. But I think now again, I think Jim Ratcliffe, has he got around about 12%, 15%, something like that, the B shares? I'm not too sure.
I have no idea.
So
it's all too technical, but the way I always thought of it was he's a minority shareholder with sporting control in the sense that the Glazer family move as one.
Yep. And I totally agree with that's how I see it as well. But like I said, there's some people out there who making the argument. And look, I think
I've heard people call him a co-owner, which this one weirdly I kind of agree with, because obviously this whole thing of he will oversee the sporting side of the football club. So he will, director of football, all of that. That will all fall under his remit. So I can kind of understand the co-owner label, but it's where it becomes minority and major shareholder and all that. I get a bit confused, but won't be the first time I'm confused over something.
Well, especially with this deal. I said it before. I think the Glazers, I didn't think the Glazers were this thick. And I will retract, they are thick because they are taking a big chance with this. But look, they've managed to pull it out. But what I was going to say, his sporting control is going to have, but obviously, if you listen to, I think one of his other recent interviews as well, I think he done with the BBC Sport, I think it was, people were saying, look, you're going to use the government funding to create a Wembley of the North, and he was like, well, no, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying, obviously, if they're going to use level up funding and all this business, well, why not do it into the north? Create a Wembley up north so you can play the FA Cup final there, England games there, and things like that, which I think is fine. But I don't want to touch upon it too much because we did last week. But I think there's a difference between building what's that stadium called now? That arena that's been built with CFG.
Co-op Live.
Co-op Live.
CFG have partially funded.
That's me. Co-funded, partially funded. Yeah, and that's not to the benefit of one single club. That's for the area.
I've heard rumors that apparently they're trying to get Peter Kay.
Peter Kay
to open the arena.
I think he's not even been on tour for a long time. I know he had some personal issues. I think he was going to go on tour a few years back, but he cancelled it because of personal issues, and I don't think he's been on
Legend,
since.
Man. If you can get Peter
So
Kay or someone, obviously you've got the local lads. You've got Jason Manford, who's a Man City fan.
mm.
You know, he obviously it's around the corner from City's ground. I'm assuming he would be interested. But yeah, if you Peter Kay or someone like that, you're laughing.
What they've got that arena for, so it is literally for that area, Manchester North and Northwest, because I see that they're gonna hold UFCs there as well, and some other things, or some concerts. Obviously, they'll be there. So I'll get that side of things where the whole community, the whole Northwest, obviously the people of UK can come and use it. But I think where people are going to get funny, which they rightly are so, is when it's going to be used for a club's purposes. Now, people again, people will say, well, West Ham did it, Man City did it with their stadium, but that was totally different because
Yeah,
obviously
they were purpose built for ongoing
sporting
events at
events.
the time,
Yeah,
being the Commonwealth Games and of course the 2012 Olympics.
yeah,
But I agree with you here. This is where I think people will get funny because we're Manchester United, right? Hated, adored, never ignored.
Lord.
We're currently in some weird ass banter era, especially with the social media fan base. So we get a lot of flack. We get a lot of stick as a football club. Pundits, everyone hates us, right? Can you then imagine if we use government funding to build a new stadium? The hatred would go through the roof. Now, as funny as that is to see, I just can't be arsed with all the negativity, man.
You know what? I don't want that for us because we are big enough, or we should be big enough, to stand on our 2 feet, do what we want to on our own 2 feet. As such, to me, it is a bit of a handout. If they're gonna help build the area around the stadium, look, everybody's going to benefit from that. Okay, that's not an issue. But when it comes to Manchester United specific, then look, do it on your own back. Look at Spurs. Obviously, they built their own stadium. Arsenal, they built their own stadium. They don't play at Wembley.
Arsenal suffered for that as well.
Yeah, suffered for that as well.
So
But
let's not forget Arsenal went through some tough times there just to pay that stadium off.
yeah, exactly. So why should they accept? They don't play in Wembley. Which is funded, like you said, by the UK government and the FA, etc., etc. So why should Manchester United benefit also? But yeah, like I says, it makes you that bit more proud of something when you've done it on your own 2 feet. Do you know what I mean? Apne aap kandu, kitta hunda. That's what they say in Punjabi. So there's that. But look, going back to Jim Ratcliffe, obviously he was confirmed as the let's call him minority co-owner of the club there. Some crazy stuff went on, man. I saw obviously Ineos. They announced the deal as well. Ineos
Bit
are
of a
blue.
peculiar way, but
Yeah, I think their normal colours are blue, white, and something of that nature.
well, I saw something that apparently Ineos Sport used that color anyway,
I
which I
looked
found
into
a bit
that.
odd.
Yeah, I looked into that, and I didn't see.
So I
I
was
didn't
like,
see
oh,
that.
that's very. I mean, look, let's have it right. Right now, as it stands, Sir Jim Ratcliffe, Sir Dave Brailsford, Jean-Claude Blanc, and whoever else was on that team, they've embarrassed the Qataris. They've had their pants down.
Mhm.
So if you boys have won, you want to troll, be my guest. Because if the Qataris got their way, bro, it would have been plastered all over the world. We
Yeah,
are Manchester United. There would have been
100%.
banners and posters and whatever else going on. So some people say it's insensitive, it's unprofessional. It might be, it might not be. I'll admit it gave me a good chuckle. But I did think
Yeah.
that are you somewhat poking the bear that is HBJ? And do you really want to poke that bear?
I wholeheartedly agree with you there. Outside, they're well within their rights to do what they want, how they want to do it. They don't owe anybody anything. And this is I'm talking about Ineos here.
Can I just say one quick thing?
Of course.
People keep saying to me, "Oh, you flipped, you flipped, you flipped." No, 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 no. We've not flipped. We are still 100% full sail only. But guess what? Jim Ratcliffe's here now. We've got to accept it. We've got to learn to live with it. That's all this is. We are moving on with our daily lives.
Yeah, I'm not too sure why people are saying you flip because the reality is that he's here.
Yeah.
I think we've mentioned it before. We're 100% Glazers out, and we've reiterated this before as well. I think me and you especially, believe that Jim Ratcliffe enabled the Glazers to stay. And again, even if you listen to, which I was going to go to his interview as well, he kind of mentioned, I think one of the interviewers mentioned about, your long term, approach to Man United. What are you going to do about purchasing it in whole? And I think he gave a wishy-washy answer, just saying, look, obviously I'm not giving it much energy, much thought about that. It's just about the here and now. Whereas there were people before the takeover happened where, the 25% was muted and we weren't happy, and people were saying, well, if he's gonna these documents, he's gonna say there's gonna be a pathway of
Provide
how
a
he's
clear
gonna
roadmap.
clear roadmap of purchasing it. We're behind him. Although I could understand it, I didn't agree with it. But now that even is in there, like, do you know what I mean? So yeah, I think we're gonna move on from that. But I think it's important to reiterate again, like you said, it's 100% Glazers out. I'm not optimistic with what's going to happen with Jim Ratcliffe. I know some people are. They're seeing positive signs, and the thing that this and the reason why I'm like this is because I've seen this many times before, and I've been positive as well when we've got a new manager, got a few players come in. I thought, yes, you know what, it's going to be different this time. We finished second.
What have me and
Won a
you always said
trophy.
about this club? The root cause of everything is the Glazer family. That poison has seeped into every facet of this club. Like, it's inescapable. Now, yes, Jim Ratcliffe might come in. He might be some kind of world-beating antidote and cure for this, whatever. But yes, they're not having as much input, or I don't know if he's got full sporting control, because I saw something apparently that Joel was on a committee with him or some crap. I don't know.
Yeah.
But the Glazers still here, man. Like, it's going to be a long, hard road.
Yeah, and like I says, any optimism you have, it just gets eroded when you see the Glazers. But look, man, let's see. I think that's the only thing we can say. Like I said, I'm not going to get too excited. We've said it numerous times. We want, we want Manchester United to win, back to the summit of where they should be, and we can only hope for the best, and hopefully it works out. But I'm not optimistic, but more than happy to be proven wrong in regards to that. But also, your general thoughts on the interview. I know. I'll be honest with you. I didn't really watch and listen to a lot of it. Like I says,
I heard clips, so I probably heard the bits that everyone wanted to get the best and the worst reactions of. I will be full transparent with everybody about that. I also spoke to someone. Shout out Gaz. He thinks he did want some royalties for the Haraami remix him and Schwaber did, but I told him Schwaber signed it over to us over a mix Schwaber and some nod.
yeah.
So, yeah, sorry, bros. But so he also gave me a bit of a summary, because I saw one of his tweets and I just reached out into his DMs and I was like, yo, like, what are your thoughts? So I'll go through his feedback first of all. So he had 4 positives and 4 negatives.
Okay.
Pretty balanced argument, you'd agree?
Yeah.
Right, positives was Jim's thoughts on the manager and the wrong sporting environment behind him. I can fully agree. I don't think there's ever been a sporting environment in this club that has been set up to succeed under the Glazers.
Post
especially
Ferguson.
post Ferguson and post Gill. His plans to get United back on track. I know he said that he wanted to knock Liverpool and City off their perch. I found that a bit corny, personally, because it's a bit of a Sir Alex reference. And
I think,
look, as much as I love Sir Alex Ferguson as a manager, I'm not a fan of him being in the ground constantly. I know he's employed by the club and he's a director, but I just see it as if he's there watching over people, whether it's David Moyes, Jose Mourinho, Louis van Gaal, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, or Ten Hag, it's, yeah, but you're not him. And it gives the pundits that easy stick to beat people with. But look, Fergie's still a legend.
I don't know, man, because it's his club at the end of the day. When I say it's his club, there's only, two biggest areas of Manchester United. One was Sir Matt Busby.
And one was Sir Alex.
He was still around at the club, and he was still around when Sir Alex was around, and then they won the first league title. So, I think it's something that I think you're right. I think people have to do it their own way. He's a reference point. He's there to help. I'm sure he's not making many decisions.
I know Jim said he had about a good 4 or 5 hour chat with him, which again I take as a positive. But I also, for me, it's like football has moved on since the world's moved on. There's different ways of doing things now.
Yeah. No, I agree. But go on. What was this? So the Sporting was one.
Sporting was one. Plans to get United back on track was two. Three was he actually held an interview. So he's been a lot more present than the Glazer family ever have.
Yep.
And the fourth and final point, this is Gaz's views. I'm still undecided on Dan Ashworth. Dan Ashworth is 10 out of 10 and he wants him in the club.
Yeah, a footballing friend of mine. I hate saying this because you know what people are like. I had the same,
ITK.
Yeah, exactly. Who gives a shit? He was saying, I was saying the same thing. Oh, Dan Ashworth, man, I'm not too sure. I'd have preferred Edwards, and he's like, nah, Dan Ashworth, he's really good. For what he's done at England, I think it was for 7 years. Really helped build what they're achieving now, semi-finals, finals, and things of that nature. I thought, okay, well, look, you obviously know you're in the game more than me. You know more than me. So I'll take it on board. I think I'm not sold. If it was Edwards, Michael Edwards, that is, then you know what, I'd say a real big coup. But yeah, damn Ashworth.
Look, for me, Ashworth has signed some great players. Obviously, the Brighton lads we all know about, the likes of Cucurella and Caicedo and Mitoma and Caicedo went for what is it, a British record fee? Caicedo, was it 150?
Yeah, 115 wasn't it in the end or something of that nature? 100, yeah. I think it was British record, yeah.
Cucurella went for a big fee to Chelsea. Now it's not his fault that them players haven't worked out. Personally, I think the way Brighton is set up and Dortmund and the Red Bull teams are set up, they're system players and they pump out these fancy footballers and get big fees, and that's how they function as a business, which you can't knock. The one thing that gets me about Dan Ashworth is he was only at Brighton for like 2-3 years. Then he went to Newcastle. Look, PIF come in with a big ass contract. I ain't saying no.
Yeah.
But again, it's been like 2 years. So, like, what's to say he comes in at Man United in 2026 when gardening leave ends, has a storming first 2 transfer windows, gets us some banging players, gets players out, does some real, proper bargain, proper wonder kids, all this, that, the other. And then Florentino Perez or Joan Laporte will pick up the phone and say, you want to come work in Spain? What's to say he doesn't jump ship again? That. I don't know, that sticks with me for some reason.
Yeah, I mean, it is a bit of a difficult one. Because look, okay, fair enough. They really believe in him. Obviously, he. I think with Ratcliffe, I think some of the things that he said, he believed in Dan Ashworth, but I think his comments and the way he talked about it was a bit derogatory. He kind of almost like, gonna say belittled, Newcastle. If he wants to come, let him come. Why you stopping him, kind of thing, you know. And then asking for a crazy amount. I think is it about 20 million or something of that nature.
Yeah, 20 million
Um,
to let him go now. Otherwise, he sits on gardening leave until 2026.
yeah, I mean, if they really, really want him, then I suppose either you pay up, or you wait for him.
But you've also got Omar Barada on gardening leave. Remember,
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
not
yeah.
instant.
I mean, look, I think for me personally, Absar, I think it's a bit like the Dark Arts, isn't it? Let's be real. Uh, yes, he's on gardening leave. He won't be able to come into Old Trafford or Carrington or
Officially.
things of that. Well, uh, even unofficially, I doubt he'll able to come because that is going to show he's kind of probably working there. But the way security, VPNs, and all that things like that nowadays, I'm sure they can communicate. Somebody
Well,
will communicate with somebody, and
he got his laptop blocked, didn't he? In Newcastle. I heard the IT department went in and uninstalled Football Manager. He's lost his database. So what we're gonna do
yeah,
now?
yeah, exactly. Do you know what I mean? So, I think there is ways around it, and I think there'll be things around it. So, I think it's nice to have the person who's pulling the strings to see them, to be present, to see their face, etc. Um, but I think obviously they can do more when they can officially do more. But either of them, Barada and Ashworth, they'll be working, they'll be having their influence in the club, in the moving, in the coming months, and before they do officially start. So I think that would be that. But what
To
were the
jump
other?
onto some
So
negatives.
yeah, I was gonna say what were the negatives?
Okay, I'll leave the first point to last because I think we can talk about that bit.
Okay.
So the first point I'm going to talk about is bigging up the Glazers.
Yeah. Right.
I understand it as a negative, but you've just entered into a partnership, co-ownership kind of deal with them, and obviously they have the non-disparagement agreement, well publicized. So I can kind of understand why he's speaking positively about them.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a good look to say, well, they're shit, and I wish they didn't stay.
I mean,
But
he's kind of said it by the way he talks about the sporting project and the failures and stuff like that. So he's
yeah,
kind of made digs, but obviously, he's a billionaire. He's probably had umpteen amount hours of media training, and he knows his way around questions. I bet that was point one. Well, that's point two. Point three: potentially bringing back Mason Greenwood.
and that wasn't a discussion
Even though the club said by club I mean Richard Arnold said he wouldn't play for the club.
Yeah, I think
because that caused an almighty shitstorm with the statement about the statement about the statement about the statement. If you remember back then.
Yeah. Look, yeah, how can I put it? I always.
We've got to be careful here.
No, exactly. And when we say careful, I think it's there for people to interpret it the way they want to do, and I don't think there's no right or wrong. People who don't want him, I get it, but then, like I says, he's
I can see it from a business perspective because he's a phenomenal talent, and he's
showed it at
probably
Getafe as well. Yeah,
and he's probably worth a lot of money. And as a football club, you'd rather have him with you than against you.
100%.
But no, that's obviously now up to Sir Jim Ratcliffe and Dan Ashworth and their team.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
We wait and see.
Yeah. So the fourth, but the third.
So the third point is, and this pissed me off, saying that Man City versus Real Madrid last year was the best football he's seen. Best football game he's seen, even though he was allegedly at the Champions League final in '99. I think for the sheer moment, I'd rather have the '99. And I wouldn't admit that a rival's game is better than, do you know what I mean? Like that.
Yeah, I don't know where he's going with those comments. Is he trying to say, well, those are the two best teams in Europe, and that's where we're trying to aspire to be? I I still don't like that, even if that was what he was trying to say. He could have said, "Look, there are levels. There are, to this game. We've got treble winners. We've got people. We've got 14 Champions Leagues, and Manchester United should be within those realms. Competing. That kind of thing would have." I would have got it, but it would have been a less sort of hint, should I say, than blatantly saying it that way. But okay,
Yeah, it was very deliberate in the way he said it, which,
yeah.
especially when I read sort of transcripts I found on Reddit and stuff, it was, I don't know, like, I'm a Man United fan, so I've got an inherent bias within me.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
then
yeah, yeah.
again, so is he, right?
I
Or
don't know.
so he says.
I don't know.
And the final point, the Sheikh Jassim points that he made, or comments, or digs, or whatever you want to call them.
Yeah, he kind of alluded to, is he real? Did he exist? Nobody saw him, and the Glazers didn't see him. So does he exist? Again, I think, as I was saying to you earlier, with the kind of stuff that he said about Dan Ashworth, I think there are some things that Manchester United stand for, and that's class. Should be.
Yeah.
You should be rising above that, and you're standing for, because with all due respect, Sheikh Jassim or even Jim Ratcliffe never. I don't know how to word this. I didn't hear things said about each other in the reports. No one belittled each other. They didn't say, they spoke about themselves, what they were going to do, but I never remember them, either one of them saying, "Oh, he's not going to be able to do this. I will do this." Like you get to political games, things like, I never heard that. So I find it quite. Like I said, I don't get it.
Should we
Why
break down
Ineos?
what he said?
Yeah, if you got the quotes, yeah, go on.
Yeah, so on Sheikh Jassim, there was this Qatari guy that no one's ever seen. It was very odd.
That was the person asking the question to Ratcliffe.
Yeah. And then the response. Still, nobody's ever seen him. Actually, the Glazers never met him. He never. I'm not sure he exists. Now, I'm going to shout out someone in the Discord for this. So, shout out Ronnie when you listen to this, and have a great holiday in Thailand, because this will probably be out by the time you're on holiday.
Nice.
But he kept saying, he said something for weeks now, and I agree with it every time he says it. And
What?
he says that, imagine when Shabazz and Fadi and the Bank of America reps turned up at Old Trafford. Imagine if Jassim or HBJ showed up on that day. The show of force that HBJ shows up on that day, he's walking away with the keys there and there. Do you know what I mean? Like, the show of force that would have been. Like, I get why they didn't turn up, but then I see the point of maybe they should have showed face at some of these meetings or tour, whatever they were doing at Old Trafford.
Yeah, I don't know whether it was on a forum or on Twitter. I'd suggested. I said, I think 1-0 to Ratcliffe for showing up,
Yeah.
and then somebody was saying, "Well, look, he's a sheikh, he's a prince. He's not going to turn up." It's a bit like King Charles or
No, I get
well, at
that,
that
but
time.
then this is Manchester United. This is one of the biggest sporting franchises in the world. This is the crown jewel of English football.
Yeah,
Just imagine how different it would have been, man.
I totally agree.
You
See,
kill
part of
off
me,
all the AI and all the CGI rumors and all the is he real, is he fake, and you
yeah,
kill off all of that in the press.
because what happens is, if he's trying to be quiet and not be seen, well, that's not going to happen if you purchase Manchester United.
Yeah.
You know, that was a given that wouldn't have
Go
happened,
purchase Rochdale Football Club.
or something of that nature. You know, um, so that wouldn't have been the case. And so, yeah, I don't know, man. I really don't know because, like I says, because even in July, I think we've covered this before as well. People were congratulating him. The likes of Rio were congratulating, saying it's done. Their stock market had been halted. All the Reuters exclusivity. So, like I says, I think hopefully one day something will happen. But I think my bugbear with this as well is how they keep taking it all. How are they taking all the abuse?
Clearly,
I
they
mean,
know something we don't know. But then again, so right, my main bugbear with this entire thing is the accusations about foul play within the SEC's filing,
hmm,
and the claim from the Qataris that their bid was higher,
hmm.
substantially higher than what was actually reported in the filings, and also the claim about we didn't provide proof of funds or source of funds or whatever that was. Now, you've been embarrassed by that. You've been dragged by the British press since about October,
Since
November?
before that, maybe since the Qatar World Cup,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
before,
The Qataris have been dragged since it got announced they got the World Cup.
yeah.
And then obviously the PSG thing happened and all that nonsense. So you've been dragged in the press. You've been ridiculed online, both by journalists, by fans, whatever. And then you make this accusation of foul play within the SEC. There are claims that on Twitter I've seen that there is enough evidence that Joel and Avram are getting fitted for some orange jumpsuits. They better not drop the soap. That's all I'm saying. But if there is that much evidence that this SEC filing was fake, where's this correctional filing? That could have dropped and it could have halted everything.
Yeah.
But then imagine the bastie as well to then make that accusation and have that accusation be false and proven false. That's even more.
Like I says, I'm just perplexed with it all. The constant jabs by the Ineos lot.
You know what it's like? This whole takeover saga.
Go on.
I mean, you're older than me, so I'm not going to say when you were a kid.
Oh, thanks, mate.
You're only a few years older, but sure.
Only a few, yeah.
Did you ever, or did your wife or your mom or whoever ever watch StarPlus back in the day?
We've all watched StarPlus, of course, man.
Right. Now, my mom was a huge StarPlus fan. And we used to have Sky Plus. We used to have the Sky Plus where you could only record 2 programs at a time. So from 5 o'clock in the evening to about 11:30 at night, constant drama on record, Monday to Saturday, yeah? And if you wanted to record something, like if she didn't let me stay up and watch a football match, or I wanted to record the Champions League highlights, I had to record it. Then I had to go and cancel Mum's series link.
Oh, no.
And then find the replay later on that night to record it to make sure she didn't miss it. And then reactivate the series link.
It was just easy not to watch it, man.
Yeah, bro, it was
literally. People don't understand. And people don't understand in an Asian household. Do you know what I mean? What dramas you have to go to, literally just to watch a football game. You know what I mean? So when people say we aren't committed or we aren't fans, this is what we have to do to watch games, man.
But like, when you watch these things and there's the camera cuts and the flick and they go flying about 25 miles, or there's that one Satya with the evil mother-in-law, that Gokila, whatever she was called.
Gokila.
And she used to shout "Bass!" And when she used to shout when she used to shout "Bass," I used to feel it.
Because you just stop doing what you were doing, Bass.
They used to crank the volume up, and obviously the special effects and the stills and the 27 different camera angles, and like we need that. Rather,
well, this, like you just said, I think what the point you're making is this is one of those. This whole takeover around it is literally.
There's been that many twists and turns, bro. It could have been a StarPlus drama.
And the thing is, I still
just call them like
more to
Jigger and I don't know, Adenava, whatever. Do you know what I mean? Joel and Avram.
Oh, yeah. And Jassim, you got him in there as well.
Yeah.
Um, you're right, but like I said, this is maybe just that hope in me. I still don't think it's over, man. In what respects, I don't know. Because we've still got the whole 18 months. Somebody comes in with a higher
Yeah, the
bid. They can
drag
do
along
this. They
clause
do
or whatever
the
it is.
drag along clause, and this is what I'm referring to. So there's that in there as well. I think Ratcliffe was asked about that, and he was like, "Hey, look, man, these kind of things happen. They're in there." I don't think he was that positive about it. But listen, I mean,
He
you're
said
right.
it
This is
gets. He said lawyers put these in contracts and then they get filed away in a cupboard and never looked at again. Could be true.
It could be true,
Do you know what I mean?
but you know what I
I've
mean.
never bought a PLC, so I wouldn't know.
Yeah, exactly. But it's out there. It's common knowledge. So if we do well, either me or you know what I mean. The whole god of wealth comes to us and asks us what we want. I know you're
Mahabharat.
gonna be, I know you're gonna save the world, which is very commendable. I'm gonna save Manchester United. So
Well, I might need
that's
some
what I'm
money.
gonna do.
You know what I mean? Save a few, save Man United as well.
But yeah, look, just to wrap up things with Ratcliffe and things of that nature, I think look, he's here now. We have to watch what he does. Still glazes out 100%. I think we both believe that nothing will change. I think there will be some highs during this course. But I think there will be some certain lows, like it says, and for us to be successful under the influence of Ineos will be something that they've never done before, especially in football. So that'll be quite interesting. But before wrapping it up and things like that, Absol, I mean, we've got the game tomorrow.
Yeah, Fulham.
Fulham. What are your thoughts?
I was positive until I heard Rasmus Højlund was injured.
And what a big, massive miss that is, man.
So now I'm kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. But then I also remembered that Scott McTominay turns into R9 every now and again. So
Yeah,
it's just.
Yeah, I mean,
Is there going to be a new takeover bounce? Like, is there going to be that extra pep in the step, as they say? Because we're at home.
Look, I think we'll win.
Off, but we're at home.
Yeah, at 3 o'clock. Yeah, you say. I think we'll win. But I've always said.
I heard Riz was meant to go to that game, wasn't he?
Was he?
Wasn't he invited to go to a game and then apparently he got kicked out of some group chat? I don't know.
I don't know, man.
Just said I thought Riz was going to be there, but apparently got kicked out of the group chat and politics.
I don't know, man. Look, I think one thing that's been so fun during this whole takeover is the people that we've all met. We've all met, and I think
what? Actually, that is a great point. And look, whether you're Qatar, whether you're Ratcliffe and Ineos, whether you're 25%, 100%, whatever. Look, the takeover is the reason we're sat here right now. The takeover is the reason we came together as friends, as brothers, and we've made other friends, the likes of Ryan and Brian and Jabber and Abu Saad and Yusuf, and that's the greatest thing about this, man. We've it's shown that Manchester United really is a worldwide community.
110%. Yeah, like
whatever side you're on the takeover, look, we all have one thing in common. We're all Manchester United fans. We all want Manchester United to succeed. Let's just all get along.
Look, I think there's banter out there and people are going for it. Look, that I've got no issues with that. Do you know what I mean? Because I think, like you said, what's brought this what this takeover's brought out is people's personalities, and it just reminds me, like you said, I'm a little bit older than you, so not much more.
Just a bit.
Don't laugh. But it never ceases to amaze me the way the world moves and the way people are. Do you know what I mean? You think you've seen a lot, you think you've seen it all, but you still see grown-ass men doing childish things.
I've seen grown-ass men offering out people for fights. Like, bro, you are a father, a son, like, you have these responsibilities in life.
Yeah.
Like, imagine if someone, like, because this does happen in the age of social media. Imagine if someone sent that to that individual's workplace. That's their livelihood gone.
Yeah. And I think, yeah, and this is what I'm trying to say. It amazes me the way people are. And like I said, look, we get plenty of abuse, but I think it's for us it's quite funny to watch and read, and I'm more than happy to be tagged and people doing it. Do you know what I mean? Because it just it entertains me. Because I think the one bad thing about this takeover being happening, it's happened now. Is there's nothing to look forward to. I think we've kind of said our piece on things. We're just gonna.
What are you
I
on
know
about,
I
bro?
am.
We've got a massive summer ahead of us. Spending 450 million, bro. Frankie de
Oh,
Jong,
yeah.
Matthijs de Ligt, maybe Mbappe on a free. Harry
Yeah, look,
Kane.
and I'll be honest with you. I never, I was never. How can I put it? I never wanted that kind of thing anyway under the Qataris if they came in, So but yeah, I think if you got Ted here, he wants to come in.
Flipping typical desi time, innit?
No man.
Guys, it's
Told
been
us
one
the
hell
geezer
of a
one.
week. Been one hell of a week. How are you both? What did I miss?
What happened at 8 o'clock, bro?
Honestly, it's been a bit of a family emergency, so I won't bore you with the details. And then, yeah, got a bit delayed.
All right,
for
listen,
dinner,
forget
so,
that. Hopefully all is well.
Yeah.
Just give us your
all is-
thoughts on Jim Ratcliffe. Because we're about to
don't
wrap
know.
up.
I feel
So
like I feel like the skepticism in me. I feel like I shouldn't believe too much. I feel like I should just take it with a pinch of salt because it might just be playing the media, it might just be playing as fans. But at the moment, it's appearing like he's making some right decisions and certain things are heading in the right direction. But I've still got my naive hat on as well, so I don't know what to believe. No doubt the insights of Harpal, Mr. Sidhu, will definitely enlighten me and tell me what's what. He's the
Oh no,
financial
you're on
man.
the same page as us, bro. We're feeling exactly the same as you.
Oh,
Go on.
okay. Oh, bloody
No,
hell, I'm not
like I
getting
said,
showered at, not getting abused.
No, like I said, and in the group
Just don't
text
mention Harry Maguire.
Yeah, in the group messages that we're in, and I've said it in there, I'm not positive about it. However, I'm more than happy to be proven wrong. Like I've said before, Ineos haven't given me any hope, especially in football sporting, that they've done anything that will remotely say they'll be successful. They've enabled the Glazers to say because we've always wanted Glazers out. But look, they're here now. That's all we can say, And on that as well, Absal, and I quite find funny is people who are against Ratcliffe and say Glazers out. There's some people who say, "Well, go and support another team," and these are the same people who want the Glazers out for the past 18 years. So why didn't you go and support another team at that point?
I've seen people say Glazers out to then say, "Oh well, 25%. It's a start." It's not full sail only, though.
Yeah, I think if we're being honest with each other as well, there are a lot of fans are just hearing a lot of news from the media, so they're probably just jumping on the excitement. And did you see? I could be wrong here. I swear my eyes were fooling me. It said that United announced record profits. Did you see that on the news alert the other day, or was it on BBC?
Eh?
Well, I didn't see
Record high.
that.
Go on, Absal. Go on Google and just type in United announce record profits. And I was thinking, Am I? Oh, I've been off the booze for 54 days. I thought,
Maybe
what's
you need
going
to be
on
back
here?
on it. I think.
Bro.
I know.
Proud of you.
I know. Yeah, it's something along the lines. But obviously, it weren't factoring in the additional debt and stuff. It was just saying record high profit. So I don't know how true that was. And I was like, why is it on BBC? And I got an alert and everything. I was like, what? So I was a bit surprised by that. And I thought, is it again linked to this whole bubble around everything's turning, everything's changing?
The only thing I've
The
seen.
only thing I can find is from the 26th of October, 2023.
Really?
Yes. No. So, no, it won't be that. I think the only thing that you might be alluding to again, but I'm not too sure it's on the BBC. Some people were mentioning that Manchester United haven't got to fear the FIFA fair play financial thing. It's not called FIFA fair play no more.
Profit and sustainability, as it's now
Yeah,
called.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, something
Yeah,
like that. I saw it and I thought, okay, I forgot to screenshot it.
Because I think Ratcliffe's initial investment offsets the. I don't know how it works.
the problems he had. So I think he's invested 100 million euros into the club, which is allowed to do. So I think that's offset that in that respect. So yeah, I think that's what you're referring to. So for what Nottingham Forest and Everton have been done for, Man United won't get done for that. Basically, I think that's what that is.
Which is good, but I tell you what, I'm a little bit like I think we'll beat Fulham. I'm not worried about tomorrow's game. But
I was just going to ask you about this.
But I'm gutted to hear about Rasmus Højlund. Yeah, because I think I mean I thought he was going to.
Fucking hell, Tej, get a different point of view, man. I've just said this.
No, but I'm more gutted for him because I thought he's going to do 9 in 9, and part of me really wanted him to get that.
He can still do 9 in 9 because it's how many games he's played.
Yeah, technically, I just hope he ain't nothing serious. But I was also gutted about Shaw because as much as I'll give Shaw shit, he has been good the last 10 games. He's been really good. I've been really enjoying watching him play. So. Bit gutted
the Kadu, man, it's like it's gutting, and this is my biggest thing going back to as we were finishing off there. So I know you jokingly saying we're going to have a 450 million pound budget. We'll get Frankie De Jong, Matthias De Ligt, Mbappe, and all those kind of things. But I think seriously, our recruiting needs to be a lot better. Again, having looked at what Ineos done at Nice. Which is not a lot great. I think they've changed tactics a few times. Lausanne, I think they second from bottom, and they literally the West Brom of that Switzerland league because they're always up and down and getting relegated. I don't know what we'll do in the summer and how we'll do it, but I think that's going to be the key thing. Really, is how they sort out recruitment, because let's be honest, this last few. Well, years, 10, 12, 13 years post-Berg has been terrible. But, the last summer transfer window and this January one was just terrible, man. I don't know the thinking behind it.
Yeah, well, hopefully Ashworth comes in, Harps, and hopefully, hopefully you...
Actually, yeah, Tej, before we wrap, what's your thoughts on Dan Ashworth?
I think I mentioned it in our groups with me and Harpo and a couple of the other groups that we're in. I mentioned that I'm really excited, really happy. I thought he did a really good job at Newcastle for what he's done, how he got the ball rolling with other things, and I'm really excited. I can imagine him bringing in definitely one Premier League player who we're probably going to think, really? Who probably, I don't know, if you look at probably a club like West Ham or someone like Everton, I can imagine bringing one of those kind of players and it completely catches us all off guard. Like, what? Why do we bring him? And him absolutely being brilliant for us. I can imagine. I wouldn't be surprised if that happens.
Those are my favourite kind of signings, man. Those have been our bread and butter over the years under Fergie, especially. I always remember.
Can we
Mark
end this
Carrick.
on a question? And I asked you boys this in the group chat.
Why do we have to end this on a question for, boys? I know I'm a little bit late.
I've got a question
48
for you.
minutes. 48 minutes is light work.
No.
Gee, we've done the 48 minutes. You've done about 8.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because now the showstopper's here.
Literally the showstopper. That's why we're going to stop the show. Yeah, exactly.
Right, Tej, I asked the boys the other day, who is your favourite obscure Manchester United signing? And when I say that, I mean like Alexander.
Did you say favourite, or did you say what was the one you looked forward to?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sorry. The one you looked forward to the most.
Favourite was a different one because then that worked out.
I look forward to Antonio Valencia. I was so happy when we signed him.
Okay, I'm gonna be really, really annoying right now and say I want something more obscure than that. Because we were coming out with like Nick Powell and
Obertan. Because when I was watching his YouTube videos, like the naive plonker I was very young. Oh God, I'm talking. How many years ago are we talking now, Harpo?
Fuck me, you're young.
Well, what's it been? Fergie's been 10, 11 years. I think.
Would it have been 2009? 2008, 2009?
No,
because we won the Champions League in 2008.
I think it was around 10. 11
because it was after Ronaldo.
Right. Yeah. 10, 11. Yeah. So, mate, I remember watching his YouTube videos, thinking, mate, who's this guy? This guy's a French phenomenal. And he played his first game, right? Honestly, if any listeners listening, they'll remember this. He played his first game. He come on, and mate, he took on about 2-3 players, and he did some neck skill, and everyone was like, wow. Played the next game, he was fucking shit. I don't know what the fuck is going on here.
And then he ended up at Newcastle.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
apparently he had a fallout, didn't he? He wanted to leave before that, didn't he? In January, didn't he?
Oh God!
No,
what
I
was
can't
that
remember
about?
because when I hear Overton, I hear Belling. What's his name? Belling. Oh, what was his name?
Bellew.
No, that is the bloody
David
boxer he
Bellion.
is. David
Bellion.
Bellion. That's the one.
Bellion.
David
Yeah.
Bellion. Do you know what I mean? Which was before Overton. But your question was, I remember that. What was the signing you was looking most forward to? The obscure for signing you was looking most forward to? Mine was Liam Miller.
Yeah.
Oh God.
God rest his soul. I remember it was at Celtic because he was ripping it up there. He looked really good, because at that point we was crying out for a midfielder for so long as well, and he looked so good. But unfortunately, sometimes the weight of the badge, weighs you down, man. But that one was mine.
I think mine was
Liam
Nick
Miller.
Powell.
I was there
Because
when
I
he
was just
scored his first
convinced he
goal.
was going to be like the next Wayne Rooney.
Yeah,
Like he had so much promise around him, and he just did nothing.
yeah, I was there again. He only had a year
Delhi
under
came through
30.
MK Dons, and I was like, "Oh, Delhi's going to be the next Wayne Rooney." And I'll look at Delhi.
Yeah, exactly. You never know how the player gonna turn out, man. Tej, what else? Because the showstopper. What else did you want to? What other points of view did you have?
I think we're in for a little bit of an interesting sort of period. I'm noticing injuries are starting to tot up again for other clubs, and no doubt will tot up for us. But yeah, no, I think fixtures wise, I think Man City. I'm going into that game thinking we are definitely going to lose. I've got no sort of optimism of that game, and I don't know. It's going to be a bit of a weird week or two, but. I'll be happy if Chelsea win on Sunday. I think that'd lift me up a little bit because I can't be.
Depends which Chelsea turn up.
Hype. Did you see the post match Liverpool spectacle of Klopp and everyone going all excited like it was the greatest comeback since Barcelona? It's Luton at home. I mean, honestly, it was
and they were only
ridiculous.
1-0 down.
Yeah, it was crazy. Again, it's over the top.
But you know what? Credit to Luton, man. Because I know we said that we should have everyone said we should have blown them away.
Yeah.
But every big team that's gone to Kenilworth Road has struggled. Like I
think Liverpool
Liverpool struggled, City struggled, Arsenal struggled. Like they make you earn the points.
Yeah, I think it's a weird one because United should have been 5-6-0 outside. I do think Bruno weren't fully at the races. I do also think when you actually break it down, you think that's Man City. They're winning 3-0, and Pep's already making subs, and that's where United just they'll learn, but they need to get that cutting edge. They need to just get those 3-4 goals, whatever. Even at home, like tomorrow, Fulham. I wouldn't be surprised if we score in the first 5 minutes, and he just stays 1-0 till about 70th minute, and then get one chance they score, and it's 2-1 United. You just wouldn't be surprised at all.
So your prediction's 2-1 United, yeah?
No, my prediction is not that. I don't know because again, it's going to be the first time.
What gives a prediction, Bob?
Bearing
in mind, there's no Rasmus, there's no Shaw, there's no Leacher, amongst many other players.
It's Harry Maguire, so I think it'll be solid at the back. So I think it'll be 4-0.
Who's going to play left back? And don't say Amrabat.
He'll play Dalot, won't he? He'll play Dalot left back.
Is Wan-Bissaka fit?
I think so. I think Wan-Bissaka's fit, so he'll probably play Dalot and then play Wan-Bissaka. But yeah, apologies on the night again, chaps. But yeah, apart from that, nothing else from me. Just hopefully we get a good result tomorrow, and hopefully Chelsea do us a favour on Sunday, and then hopefully Southampton do us a favour on the Wednesday.
Yeah, man. Let's see. I'll be honest with you. I'll stop watching football other than our own games, man, because it's not. We're not going to get anywhere, are we? Let's be honest. We're not going to get Champions League. Even if we got there, we're not going to do anything.
Harps, I think we will, mate. Do you
Hopefully,
know what I think
apparently
we will?
fifth place is going to the coefficient thing is going to Italy or Germany. I saw
Italy or Spain, I think it is. But no, Harps. You know what I reckon it will. I can imagine. I can imagine Spurs and Villa just bottling it.
You've
he
got
gone?
a lot more noise here.
Now I said Spurs and Villa. I reckon they'll bottle it.
Mate, I want Villa to win the league.
I know, yeah, we're all rooting for Villa.
We're all Villa fans at the moment.
Villa won't
but
win it.
no,
Shout
I don't
out,
think they
Mass.
will. Yeah, I don't think they will, but I want them to win it. I rather them City or Arsenal or Liverpool, obviously, to win it. Look, Ted, it would have been great to talk more. If you actually come on time, I think we'll always have a good discussion, especially when Ted is on. We always have a good chat, but unfortunately, I don't think the listeners can bear to listen to us for that long. So we are going to wrap it up. But look, we're in the new era of Ineos and obviously the Glazers. It just kills me to say it, man. I'm trying to stay positive. Yeah, man. Let's just see how things get on, and we'll catch you on the next episode. Thank you all.
The guy that turns up on your body.